Hi everyone, welcome to the Super Science channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about fossils. Now, what is a fossil? A fossil is one type of bone that's later dissolved in mud, sand, and volcano ash, and then later turned to stone. While most fossils are more commonly than others, there's one certain place where each state has its own fossil. Yes, I'm talking about the United States of America. Now, the U.S. has lots of different kinds of fossils. That depends on what kind of state you live. If you live in the Northeast, where New Jersey and Maryland are found, you might found the big astrodon, a type of dinosaur that lived in Maryland. If you live in the west part, say California, you may have a tar pit. Well, not in your backyard, but somewhere in the Los Angeles tar pit stuff, where, well, it's a tar pit. But no, they don't have dinosaur bones there, but rather other interesting animals, like mammoths, giant ground sloth, and a big saber-toothed cat. You might even lucky enough to find a fossil in your backyard. In Arizona, there are fossilized trees there. And if you want to go there, you might want to. If you go in one of the national parks of Arizona, you might even find a fossilized tree. Okay, so how does a fossil form? This is a big question, and it's a simple one. First, it needs to, but there are lots of things that needs to be done. The right environment, climate, and time. So here's how a fossil forms. When an animal dies, say a giant bear, it'll basically lie down. In jungles where there are more animals, it's hard to be fossilized there. It's quite almost impossible to be fossilized there. Okay, then that creature goes sinking down into the undergrowth, which then is put in ash, rocks, stone, mud, and sand. All of them combine many weight to the bones. Most of them are crushed. Yeesh. And then they had to. You know what erosion is? Yeah. Then erosion takes place. It carries up the fossilized creature, which inside the bones are covered in water. Next, add a few layers of wind, water, and sun, and the bones become visible. Some parts get lost. But if we talk about marine animals, that's a different story. More rather, an easy story. Most of all the fossil scientists, which are now called paleontologists, that's the scientists who study fossils and dinosaurs. Most people like dinosaurs. So, yeah. Once they're dead, they're easily, quickly to fossilize. The number of fossils found each year is called the fossil record. Animals like sharks and giant fish like the Dunkleosteus are made from cartilage. Yeah, that's the same stuff made from your ears and the tip of your nose. They're not part of the fossil record, but we do know a lot of them. So, what can fossils teach us? They can teach us a lot of things. To be exact, 99% of all creatures have died. And the fossils, the bones of those creatures, still tell us a story. Although not all fossils are complete ones, scientists have this puzzling question in mind about which bone goes where. So they have to figure out of today's mammal. Say the giant short-faced bear. Yeah, that is an example. So, what can turn something into a fossil? Well, there are many things that can turn something into fossils. First, let's talk about amber. Now, amber is the same thing that was trapping mosquito in Jurassic Park. Yeah, that yellowish stuff with an inside, that's amber. And they trap insects. Yeah, they actually do. Only small animals get trapped in amber. Next, let's talk about tar pits. Tar pits are the things I told you earlier. They're oil, like very sticky oil. They may look like black quicksand, but they're actually very, very sticky oil. And once an animal is trapped there, it can't get out. It just goes sinking and sinking and sinking all the way down. And that attracts predators, which also goes down, 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 down. Yeah. Next, there are plant fossils. Now, mainly, just like dinosaur bones, plant fossils aren't complete skeletons, just parts of it, like leaves, stems, bark, wood, etc. And also seeds, and a lot more. So, let's talk about the most famous and iconic of them all, dinosaur fossils. Now, yeah. Each rock has its own layers. The Triassic, which is the highest, the Jurassic, which is the medium size, and the Cretaceous, which is the last one. So, how do we know how a fossil is old? By the rocks, the stuff that were in there. The more harder the rock, the more older it is. If we compare the Apatosaurus fossil to the T-Rex fossil, the Apatosaurus will be much harder to dig than the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And if we put woolly mammoth to a T-Rex, the T-Rex will be much harder to dig. Then we have the more weirdest stuff about fossils. Teeth. Now, they don't show us they show us many things. Not just where they live, how they live. They also show us how they live and eat. Flat, smooth teeth, like those of hadrosaurs and elephants today, are mostly herbivores. That means they only eat plants. But these things like cone shaped or pencil shape of herbivores, such as mastodons and woolly and brachiosaurus, they're most likely built for chipping off twigs. But if we go to predators, they might be sharp and triangle, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, or curved shape, like those of Carcharodontosaurus. Those two can show us how they hunted. Those with the triangle shaped those teeth tend to actually grip rather the slashing, like these things. Yeah, those teeth are actually built for slashing off. Yeah. And if we compare them, both by side, we can get a pretty good idea of how they actually worked. So there you have it. All kinds of fossils. Where they're from? Oh, I forgot one thing. Okay, so let's now talk about trace fossils. Trace fossils are anything that an animal does. They don't just leave bones and plants around. They can also leave some footprints, which are, traces of an animal. Or feathers, or partial feathers. And here's one tip. The much harder the rock, the much older an animal is. And believe me, raptors and T-Rexes have feathers. So, there you have it. Everything about fossils. They're not so specific places, how they're formed, and what, and where, and how the fossil form. Bye. I hope you liked this video. Subscribe and ring the bell for more videos like this one. Bye.